Hey, flooring pros, and especially those of you that sell kitchen designs and remodels. I've done a lot of consulting with people that are in that field that sell kitchen and bath remodels and design. And the question always comes up, do you sell the design or do you offer a free in-home estimate? So I find that a lot of people that do a free in-home estimate or a free design, if you will spend up to 4 hours creating the design, creating the kitchen of their dreams. And sometimes they get the job, sometimes they don't. Now, a lot of people have a high closing rate when they go through and they do all that work, but there's some jobs that you don't close. And one to talk about is actually selling the design. Now, one person claimed it only takes him 2 hours to create the design, not 4 hours, like I've heard from so many other people. So he says he does it rather quick and he sells jobs quickly off of that. So he likes to offer that free design. And but even that 2 hours is very valuable. He has special software. He invested in it. He learned how to use it, and he's not selling the design. Instead, he's offering it as something free. The design is something that is valuable, and you should be offering that. So the fact is that free is actually harder to sell. You know, you got people that they don't value free as much. I can tell you, I've done free webinars where 60 people sign up and 18 show up. Where I've done a webinar or a masterclass online that's paid for, that 28 people paid to be in a masterclass, and I got 32 people showed up. So a little bit more than what paid for it. So other people gave login information to their salespeople or business partners. So I was thrilled to see that, but it's just proof. I've seen home shows that were free and people come out to the shows and don't spend any money. Where if it's a home show that people pay to get into, they have a tendency to spend money. So there's a lack of respect for the expertise involved. You end up commoditizing what you do. If it's free, anybody that's offering it for free, there's no value in that. You're likely to get a lot more tire kickers, because if I got nothing to invest, I might as well get a quote. I want some idea of what it's going to cost. So somebody can come in, do a kitchen design, and it's just way out of my budget or price. So I'm not going to go further. And yet you did 2, 3, 4 hours worth of work creating this beautiful kitchen. And then you might not even get a phone call or return. And this happens all the time with free in-home estimates. I mean, oh, we'll create the estimate and eventually give it to the customer. I always encourage people to price in the home. But regardless of what industry you're in, if you give an estimate, sometimes you reach out and say, hey, do you want to go with that order? And the customer doesn't even call you back. So, or respond to your email or text messages. That's frustrating. So should you offer a free in-home estimate? My answer is yes, it should be. It should be a guesstimate, not an estimate. You know, what you do is you create a system to measure a bank of cabinets, and you give somebody a rough idea of what that project's going to cost. You know, from being in the industry a long time, what a certain length of cabinets is going to run on average. And you can have 2 or 3 different price points. Take those price points and group cabinets together. You know, you might have 10 different SKUs with different pricing. Take those things and whittle it down to 2 or 3, you know, good, better, best kind of scenario. So certain length of countertops too. You can also group those together. You don't have to have each individual SKU and each individual price, but give them a quote based on your experience, knowledge of what it's going to take for that slab and to install it properly. And then plumbing is roughly X amount. You've done it enough. You know what plumbing runs. So give yourself a wide berth there to be able to give somebody a guesstimate of what they're looking at. If you got flooring that you're going to be redoing for them, again, width by length, figure tear out and new flooring product, maybe 12, 13 bucks a square foot. You might want to factor for that so you can give a guesstimate on what that's going to be. Then the next step is you want to sell the design. You know, so I would give a guesstimate, introduce my design process to them, explain it to them. I always start off by naming the process. So just coming up with one out of the blue, we have the complete luxury design and finish process. And this is how it works. So you're going to explain that process to them, that what I'm going to do is give you a full kitchen remodel design, include everything. It's a guaranteed accurate estimate. So what I'd like to do is, that's $497, and that will be credited back towards your purchase. Now, you can choose to do that or not. And if you do that, you might want to bump up your price a little bit to cover that design process. Again, it is something that I think should be paid for. You know, it's worth your time. So whether you credit it back or just sell it, that's fine, either way. So then next thing you want to do is kind of review the process with them. And what we do is I'll do a full kitchen remodel design for you, show you where the cabinets, some of the options I'm going to show you, handles, things like that, and time frame of what it's going to take to do. What I'd like to do, that's $497, and what I'd like to do is schedule you back into the showroom where I can go over the drawings with you, and we can look at different cabinets and different models and things like that. So if you want to make some changes, you can. But Thursday, would mornings or afternoons work better for you? You know, so I do my design consultations usually on Thursdays. So if you can come in Thursday at 11 o'clock, and we'll go over everything with you and give you a complete accurate estimate. So you got them in your showroom now, close the sale. I mean, it's a hell of a process to go through, and they're not likely to go with anybody else. You know, you've really got your stuff together to show them, you know, I came out, gave you a free in-home guesstimate. I sold the design to you. Now I came back and give you a professional design that was worth it. The other thing you can do when you sell the design, give them the information. If they paid for it, they're entitled to that information. So say, yes, you can check around. Now you got all the details you want to know. Look, if you show them that you got it together, that you have processes, you lay down expectations of when the project's going to be done and how that process goes, how long it's going to take to do their full remodel, they're not likely to go through that process with anybody else. And the more you show them that you got it together, that your process is down packed, you've got levels of communication, pay, everything is figured out. Look, guys, take the time to figure it out. And I created the kick-ass process sales presentation that's on YouTube as well. So just search through my YouTube channel here and see that. You create that thing, it's going to help you sell. And what I really like about this process is you can hire anybody and train them quickly. They don't have to have a breadth of knowledge of how everything works in order to sell a design process. They can go in and give a guesstimate. You can train them on how to give a rough guesstimate so they can sell the design process. And then you, the expert, the professional, can come in when the customer comes in. You can close that sale along with the designer. So it gives you a lot more flexibility to hire people that aren't experts, because they're tough to find and they're tough to retrain. So some of our best employees have always been people that were good salespeople that weren't knowledgeable about flooring. We're able to train them because we've created systems that make it easy for them to sell. Okay, so, and it's always a lot of work to do all that. But if you can create your process, you're going to make it really easy on yourself to sell the design process. You're going to close more jobs. I don't know how a customer would turn you down after you give them a guesstimate if it's anywhere close to the actual price. And then it's easier to do the upgrades from there too, because you've already set the expectations. All right, so they're not going to be shopping around based on price, you know, especially in this economy. All right, I hope this makes sense to you. If you need a little clarity, just reach out to me and I can clear some things up for you. But happy selling, everybody. Hope you guys are having a wonderful 2022 and you're very profitable.